guys, it's Aaron. So I noticed something different about the Day of Atonement. It says, you shall afflict your souls. You shall afflict your souls. Doesn't sound too exciting. I'm going to read Leviticus 23, 26 through 32. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, also the 10th day of the 7th month shall be the Day of Atonement. It shall be a holy convocation for you. You shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire to the Lord. I mean, for those left behind, afflict your souls. This particular feast is an affliction of your soul. And anyway, I'll read on. And you shall do no work on that same day, for it is the Day of Atonement, to make atonement for you before the Lord your God. For any person who is not afflicted in soul, there it is again, on that same day shall be cut off from his people. Ouch. And any person who does any work on that same day, that person I will destroy from among his people. Ouch. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generation and all your dwellings. It shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and you shall afflict your souls. On the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening to evening, you shall celebrate your Sabbath. So that's just a little snippet of Day of Atonement. I think that's very interesting that it talks about that. Now, it talks about the Day of Atonement in Leviticus 16. I don't really need to read it all. It does talk about the scapegoat when it's released. In verse 22, it says, the goat shall bear on itself all their iniquities to an uninhabited land, and he shall release the goat in the wilderness. That word release is there once again, connected with Day of Atonement, and it's in verse 22. Is this our year of release? I don't know. Not sure. I think it's great. I think these numbers are always fun. We are always bumping into these 22s that are really fascinating. And verse 29, this shall be a statute forever for you in the 7th month. On the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls and do no work. And then also in Leviticus 16, we've got the number 7 brought up a few times. In verse 14, he shall take some of the blood of the bull and sprinkle it with his finger on the mercy seat and on the east side, and before the mercy seat he shall sprinkle some of the blood with his fingers 7 times. And this is on the Day of Atonement. Okay, so Leviticus 16 verse 19, then he shall sprinkle some of the blood on it with his fingers 7 times. Is this a foreshadow of our 7-year tribulation? I'm not quite sure, but the big thing here is affliction of the soul. For those left behind, man, this is not going to be an exciting event. You got to get tight with Christ, folks. You know what's going on around the world. I don't have to tell you. It's a bunch of chaos about to unfold. Okay, this reminds me of Romans 11:11. I say then, they have stumbled, that they should fall. Certainly not. But through their fall, to provoke them to jealousy, salvation has come to the Gentiles. That's going to be an afflicting moment. And some of these other words for affliction is to be humbled. And if you're left behind, not going to be fun. Also, if this is the year of Jubilee, and you know what, everybody's just guessing, taking educated guesses, and makes a lot of sense that it is. Luke 4, verse 18. Jesus read this when he walked into the temple, but he didn't read the full passage of it. He stopped right in the middle of a verse to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. Now, he was referring to Isaiah 61. So, basically, Luke 4, verse 18 through 19. I'll just read it. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. But he stopped there. The next sentence is, in the day of vengeance of our God. He didn't say that. And if it's a Jubilee year, he would have said that on Day of Atonement. So it's like the Day of Revenge. If you look at, I'm going to look at my Strong's here. If you go to the Strong's word, it's H5359, and it's the Day of Revenge. The Day of Revenge. Jubilee, Day of Atonement, Day of Revenge, affliction. left behind, this kind of stuff, scapegoat. One was alive, one was not, Interesting stuff. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing. That's right. So Isaiah 53, Jesus, right? He was afflicted. So Isaiah 53 verse 4, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteem him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. Verse 7, he was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter. But in Isaiah 53 verse 11, he's basically going to turn the tables. He shall see the labor of his soul and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant shall justify many, for he shall bear their iniquity. And if you read a different translation, just for fun, as a result of the anguish of his soul, or the affliction, he shall see it and be satisfied by his knowledge of what he has accomplished, the righteous one. My servant shall justify the many, making them righteous, upright before God, in right standing with him, for he shall bear the responsibility for their sins. There's going to be a revenge of this affliction. It's going to flip over. Is this going to happen on Day of Atonement? Don't know, but I think it's a very interesting, suitable feast day for a rapture. If we're not here, Tabernacles is next on the list. After that, Blood Moon's next on the list. After that, I don't know. Keep on looking. Get into a relationship with Jesus Christ. We really don't know how long we have. Okay, guys, take it easy. Go, Jesus, go. See you in the clouds. Bye.